Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. Now find yourself a seat at their table.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. I'm PJ, and today we're taking a trip down a memory road, and we're going to land in the, once again, our favorite decade, the 90s and the early 2000s. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite shows, our cartoons on Nickelodeon, the ever-famous, ever-popular Nicktoons.
Yeah. PJ, I'm excited about this, man, because like not only is this nostalgia heaven, but I really want to celebrate just the greatness of this murderous row of television.
It really was great.
Because folks at home, if you're a new listener here or old listener, we talked a lot about Batman, the animated series, X-Men 94, Spider-Man, and we talked about, I think one of our earliest episodes, we had like our favorite adult cartoons like Beavis and Butthead and South Park and Family Guy.
Bob's Burgers, that kind of shit.
All that stuff. But I really feel that these Nicktoons don't really get as much praise as they deserve. I mean, this is, like I said, the murderer's row of
great
cartoons. And PJ, know what I love about this? I know I'm going on a bit of a rant here. I'm getting these reels now on my phone. I don't know why I'm getting a lot more Nicktoons. I became a dad 4 months ago. Maybe it's giving me more. I don't know what's going on. I didn't look. Anyway,
you might be watching more cartoons in the house or something, and your algorithm has picked up on it.
Yeah, but I gotta say, man, shows like Batman the Animated Series, amazing, all that. Those were dramatic, action-packed shows, right? Spider-Man, all that stuff. These shows, though, folks, the comedy was outstanding. The comedy in these shows was hilarious, and they still land the jokes.
They still do.
I don't watch cartoons, like the children's cartoons today, so I don't know how funny they are or anything, but I'm sure they're very fun to watch, no question. But the comedy in these shows was outstanding. I mean, laugh out loud, one-liners, catchphrases that I still use today that we're going to talk about, I'm sure. I mean, unbelievable.
I don't watch as many new cartoons either. Superhero stuff like that I'll watch, but outside of that I really don't. But the few that I've picked up on, maybe I've watched here and there, I feel like they don't have the same sort of, and we'll talk about this as we go through all the episodes, but the shows that we watched at Nickelodeon, these Nicktoons, were made for kids, but a lot of the jokes and the comedy and and the storylines that were happening were way above the level of the age group that the shows are made for. And I don't know that they do that as much with today's episodes.
Yeah, I agree. And I just also think with the shows from the 90s, they're really an emphasis on comedy and entertainment. I think a lot of shows now, which is fine, they're a little bit more educational. They want to, even if it's like comedy-esque, something like a SpongeBob, which has been on for like 25 years now.
Is that like the longest running cartoon ever at this point?
Yeah.
Like outside maybe Looney Tunes or something like that?
Yeah, and The Simpsons. Yeah, out of The Simpsons, probably. For Nickelodeon, yeah. But not that SpongeBob has like educational stuff, but it was a different type of thing in the 90s. I want to say these shows, the emphasis on the comedy first was crazy. And maybe SpongeBob is the exception. All right, fine. But other than that, a lot of shows today are just about entertainment and fun. We're going to show you how these shows, unbelievable. They had versatility. But folks, we're going to actually go in chronological order when they were released. We're not doing this is not a ranking episode or anything of these shows. And
no, but we probably will tell you which ones our favorites are by the end of it.
Oh yeah, no question. So PJ, we're going to start off in 1994 with Doug. So PJ, what's your thoughts about Doug?
Love it.
Absolutely, no question, man.
Yeah, everything about Doug is fun to me. Doug funny. Funny. He is funny. I love that show because I felt like he was such a sad sack.
Yes. Yeah, he was kind of like Charlie. He was kind of like Charlie Brown, but he had a little bit more confidence and he was so relatable, man. That character was incredibly relatable.
He looked funny. The characters all looked funny and unique and interesting. Like I think Skeeter was like green.
Yeah.
Or like bluish, and
like a
Roger
teal,
Klotz is green. Yeah.
Yep.
So they all had like different sort of like memorable looks to them. I love Quail Man.
Yep.
Quail Man is one of my favorite parts of that show. I always like when there's a show that has a comic book piece to it.
Yes.
And Quail Man, he wanted to create comic books, which is like the thing I related to most about Doug, right? And I thought that was a great piece of it. His interaction with his sister.
Oh yeah, I think everyone had a crush on Judy. Yeah, right?
Right? Like she was great.
I like when she ever popped on, they played like, it was like a doo-doo-doo. It was like a little bit like a jazzy kind of coffee type of thing.
She had that look, like she always wore the glasses, like the beret.
Yes. Mm-hmm. PJ, right on, man. Like, this show was so relatable. I like that it was a quieter show. Like, it wasn't like insane. What I liked about it too, it felt like it's just very down to earth. When he'd be like, maybe the beginning episode, the end episode, where I guess he's like kind of, like the story, like the moral of the story. He'd be like, "Dear Journal." It was so like therapeutic, you know.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about the show too, I think they really nailed. I think for anyone, especially young boys, is like when you have a crush on a girl. Like, he was in love with Patty Mayonnaise.
Patty Mayonnaise.
And I don't know about you, but I related him to so much. Like, when you have a crush on a girl, you want to X her out, but you're so overcome with like anxiety, and you're like, it's not worth the risk.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that, you're just overwhelmed with anxiety. And he was just so good with it. Even though he was like friends with her, he's like, I don't want to compromise that and make things weird. And he was just like always struggling with that and like wanting to be affectionate. And I think later on he does.
He would write a song for her. What was it, Patty or the Pickle on My Mayonnaise or something like that was the song, I think.
Yeah. And he was, that part was so good. The romance was so good.
His dog, Pork Chop, living in the igloo.
Yes.
Love Pork Chop.
Yep.
What was interesting too, I bring up Pork Chop. A lot of the times when there's a cartoon with the dogs talk. Like, that's their personality, right? They talk. Pork Chop was just a dog. He wasn't talking. He was just a dog.
Yeah.
And he just barked. He just lived in his igloo, which is his dog house, but still managed to have a real personality, like a real dog. It was almost a much more realistic interpretation of what that age kid would be like with his dog. And they still managed to make that dog funny and have personality and be memorable without making it a talking dog. Almost like a Snoopy, but even Snoopy has so much personality, but he does human things. Pork Chop really didn't.
Yeah. He did a little human, but he definitely had the Snoopyism in him.
Yeah.
No question. I think you just said the character's name before, Roger Klotz.
Roger Klotz, the bully.
Dude, he was like the Biff Tannen, the background of this universe. Every time you saw him pop in screen, you're like, no.
I can't remember his music, but he had like a very unique and
it was like kind of rocker-esque. Yeah, he had like the leather jacket. I think there's one episode it's been so long. I think there's one where Patty actually goes on a date with Roger. I think they become close, and like Doug is like mind blown. He's like, how is this happening? Skeeter, me, like, or when you hear like Hong Kong, that was like his little like catchphrase.
I think at some point in that show you find out that Roger is like poor and doesn't have like a great home life or something like that.
Yes, that's right. And you start to and you have empathy for
at that point they start to like, you start to feel for him, and they start to slowly turn him around a little bit.
Yes.
You start to like him, and then I think then the show moves to Disney, and it leaves Nickelodeon. It becomes terrible. But then Roger becomes rich, and he's a jerk again. You don't like him anymore.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. Good memory. Yes, but I do remember when you find out he kind of has like a rough child, like whatever, and he's like a little bit more redeemed. I think
what this show does in a way that's not very noticeable, especially when you're a kid. But everyone now in the world talks about woke and inclusivity and all that stuff, and it's hammered down like that. You have to do it to the point where sometimes it ruins the writing of the show to fit these things in.
Yeah,
Doug did it so seamlessly. All right, there's no green people, there are no teal people, there are no whatever other color people are in there, but they put a show together where everyone looks very different, comes from different walks, but very seamlessly all get along and are friendly and live their lives. I think they do a good job of showing that you don't have to actually try hard to make these shows show that message. I think that was done well too.
Oh,
very well written.
Yeah, just other couple of things that I enjoy about the show was the Dinks, his neighbor.
Yes,
the Dinks.
Yes.
He was kind of like, like when he spoke.
Yes,
and
he was an inventor or something. Wasn't
yes,
he?
and
I
remember like finding out Dinks stands for like double income, no kids.
Yeah,
and And I think Mr. Dink, he always played golf, and I think he would always like hit a golf ball and hit Doug Funny's like mailbox. And I think there's an episode where I think Doug breaks something of Mr. Dinks, and he's like, no, and like he's really disappointed in him. But another great character. And dude, what about this Principal Butt Savage? I mean, that was something you and I spoke about all the time. Like, why would they call it that? But dude, I don't think you ever actually saw Did you see? You saw the Principal? Yeah,
I think you did. Yeah.
But I mean, excellent show, like I said,
and so many episodes you just remember. I think there's one where they become a photographer or something like that. There's a photography episode, or the father was a photographer, or something like that, and was like missing Doug's birthday, and the only gift that Doug really wanted was a football or something like that.
Yes, that one? Yeah. Of course, I think some of the most well-known ones is like anything with the Beats, the Beatles kind of.
Oh yeah, Killer Tofu.
Yep, exactly. Nice. And of course, Doug Funny's band. I can't remember the name of the band, but of course, like banging on a trash can. I mean, that song, folks. I'm sure we have other people the same age as us. That song was huge.
Yeah.
You came to school like saying, going like, think big. You're like,
Yes. Think
you knew
big. Yes.
and then he gets kicked out of his own band.
Yeah.
You know, like everything was bigger. They kept adding. There's like 6 drummers, like basically the early Slipknot. You know, but that song was killer though. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, fantastic show.
I think was it One Little Voice is Killing Me? Think big or
Yes.
something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Oh, one little voice is
Yeah.
calling me.
Calling me. Yes. Yes.
Oh wow. I mean, dude, unbelievable.
It's great.
Unbelievable. But PJ, moving right along.
Okay.
One of my favorites of all time, especially the early seasons, and I'll get to when I started to really kind of not like the show anymore, was Rugrats. I mean, I love the Rugrats. And I'm not going to lie, I've been watching a lot of these reels of the old episodes. Dude, they are hilarious, man. I mean,
I love old school Rugrats.
Dude, unbelievable. I mean, the comedy in this show, everyone was funny in this show. It was and I think one of the most underrated comedian characters is Chucky Finster. I mean,
I was about to say Chucky's great.
He is hilarious.
Got sponsorbilities.
Yes, dude, just everything about Chucky is hilarious. You can find a thing online, a list of all the things he's afraid of. Even that will make you laugh out loud. He's afraid of the man in the oatmeal box. I mean, all these different things. But Chucky was so funny, and all the characters are great. I mean, besides, like, obviously, you know, Tommy, you know, Phil and Chucky. But, dude, how funny. They could have done a spinoff with Stu and Drew. Those two dads were hilarious.
Great.
Yeah, and
grandfather's great.
Yeah, those 3 were hilarious in their things. They're always kind of like a, you know, sibling rivalry. Those were great characters, man. So funny. I mean, this show did so many things really well. The comedy, which I'm going to get into specific episode.
Dr. Lipschitz.
Exactly. Dr. Lipschitz. I love how they always kind of made like kind of silly words or goof on vocabulary. So like there's a part where Chucky has to get a haircut and he's like, well, it was terrible. They had to use shampoo, you know, and, you know, and, or like you said, responsibilities. And, like I remember there's one episode where Tommy basically starts like a naked colony. He's like, everyone be naked. I still stay naked. I still say naked.
Yeah, so do I.
You know what I mean? I'm running my own house naked. I say it. You know, I still say it. Unbelievable.
I love Reptar.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
Do you remember when they actually made real Reptar bars and you can go to the store and get a Reptar candy bar?
Yes.
Those were great. However, my favorite part about Rugrats is not from the show. I don't know if you remember this. You might. We used to go to the ice cream man, Paul.
Oh, yeah,
He would have the Rugrats ice cream bar, which is a peanut butter and jelly ice cream bar.
Yes.
That was the best. I wish they could still make those. I would buy them every day. They were so good. That was the Rugrats ice cream bar was peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And that just shows like the reach that show had. Like it was, you know, it wasn't just a TV show. The merchandising.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rugrats had a lot more of that than like a show like Doug. You never really saw Doug stuff, I don't think, out in the world.
No.
But Rugrats did. Rugrats captured the imagination of people, I think, because talking babies.
Yeah. I mean,
Spike the dog.
Yeah, Spike the dog. You know, Angelica.
Another dog that
great
didn't really have
villain.
any human qualities, was really just a dog.
Yeah. He was really just a dog. Yeah. I think later on, which we'll get to, the Wild Thornberries, they have like a crossover.
Yeah.
And he's voiced by Bruce Willis. But yeah, Susie, great character. You needed her to fight, which is one of the best villains ever. Angelica. I mean, everything. She was such a brat. You hated her, but she was awesome, though. You know, she was so good. And talk about crushes on characters. Dude, I love Angelica's mom. I can't think. Was it Cynthia? No, Cynthia's her doll.
Cynthia's the doll.
What was the mom's name?
Oh, I can't think of it.
My God.
I can see it.
I'm sure our listeners are shouting at us now.
Yes, absolutely they are.
But yeah, I thought that character was hot. But but this show, you know, like I said, there's such great comedy. There's an episode when Angelica saves Chucky's life somehow, and now Chucky forever is in debt to Angelica.
He's like her slave. Yeah.
Yes, he has to be her slave, and he's doing everything. At one point, he's like a giant leaf fanning her, and then Tommy kind of enters, and Tommy's like, "Yo, man, you don't have to do this for the rest of your life." And Chucky's like, "Yo, I can't. I have to do it." And there's one part where they have like a Power Wheels car, and it kind of looks like a limousine, and Chucky,
he's driving him around,
right? And she gives him like a little like show of hair, like derby hat, and he's like driving them around. She's like, "To the park." She calls him Charles. "To the park, Charles." And he's just, and then they get into a car accident. And he's like, "I'm trying to get to the park," but it's so funny. I mean, there's so many funny episodes. Chucky at one point becomes like a superhero. He has like a diaper on his head, and you know, he fights Angelica. Ice Cream Mountain is one of the best episodes. You know,
there's the one where they like they're adults, but they have their baby heads.
Yes, then they have to work and have to punch in. They literally punch a clock.
Yeah,
you know, I don't want responsibility.
Yeah, and he has to push paper, and so he's just sweeping paper everywhere.
Yes, Yes, they did such a great job with like the imagination of like
They really
a
did.
baby. There's just the physical comedy
that
too.
show to me always felt to me almost like a spiritual successor or a spiritual sequel to the Muppet Babies.
Yeah, that's true.
Where
Yeah.
because they had a lot of the same things where it would be like their imagination would take over and you're seeing things from their point of view and their imagination, which is something that they started on Muppet Babies.
Yeah.
And I always kind of saw a parallel between the two shows.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Another great episode is it's called it's actually almost barely any dialogue and it's all just physical comedy. It's called Touchdown Tommy, and it's during the Super Bowl and Tommy has to get his. I think the kids and they're basically playing a game of football with like inside of the bottle. It was so. I mean, that was amazing. I mean, there's so many countless episodes. The episode you found where Chucky's mom passed away. I mean,
that was so sad.
I mean, a tearjerker, so good. I mean, I can still think of the rhymes now, like, or she's like the wind. I'm not there, but you can feel me, kind of thing. And so beautiful. And like I said, there's so many classic episodes. And there's one where
doesn't Chucky eventually get a sister?
Yeah, his dad remarries.
Sister. He gets remarried. Yeah.
There's an episode where Angelica has her own club, and in order to join the club, you have to say like an oath or something like that, and each person takes a turn. I still remember it. Now I say it to my own baby to kind of make him laugh. It's my name is Silly Tommy. My diapers smell like old salami. I have no hair, but I don't care when I want my mommy. And then my name is Chucky Ducky. When I barf, it's really yucky. And he can't remember the rest. And then I think Lil says like, my name is Boogery Lil. I gave him my boogers to Phil, and she can't remember. And she's like, and Angelica's the best. And I think Phil's just drunk on milk, and he's like, my name is, and I think he ends up passing out. But I mean, it's just amazing how these catchphrases I'm saying is still in my mind because it was so.
We never met
funny.
Phil and Lil's dad, right? I don't think we ever meet their.
No, we did. He kind of has like almost like a Sideshow Bob kind of hair look, or like a triangle.
I can't remember their dad. I remember the mother.
Yeah. She's a little butch. Yeah, but the dad's in. He's not in every episode, but he's there. And there's another classic episode where Tommy sleeps over Chucky's house, and Tommy's like kind of very disorganized, kind of lives free, and Chucky likes everything a certain order. And there's one point he messes up his old toys. He's like, I can't even do it justice, but he's like, at one point, he's like, and Tommy's like, well, in my house, we can, he's like, I don't care. Well, look, in my house. Oh, my house. Well, in my house, I'm not doing it justice. Just search it.
But it was great. Yeah.
It is the writing was so hysterical. And another thing.
So good.
Yeah.
So good, that show.
Yep. Another just two quick things. PJ and I, right? We're Catholic. We were raised, and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things that this show introduced me to, I'm not gonna lie, is like I didn't really know much about the Jewish faith. And Tommy was half
they had the
Jewish.
Maccababies.
Yes, and like
the Maccababies.
Yeah,
were a big thing. Yeah,
yeah, and just when they have like the Passover episodes, that was kind of cool. Like I didn't wasn't like I was
it's
actually
how we learned about that.
That's
stuff.
how I did. Truthfully, that's how I learned about it. It was actually through that show, which was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. No, I was going to actually bring that up also. That is, I remembered the Maccababies being a big thing because every show had a Christmas episode, but that one had the Hanukkah episodes. Like the first time I remember seeing a Hanukkah episode.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get too into it, but I think for me, when I really started to, I want to say I hate the show, that'd be rough, but I hated
Bill?
Dude, he was the Scrappy Doo of that show. I couldn't watch anymore.
That's when it jumped the shark.
It changed, exactly. And it changed the whole tone of it, and the show was never the same. And we'll just end on that. But early Rugrats.
Early Rugrats is great.
Sensational. Then, folks, running into this next show, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I think you were a big fan of it. Was Ren and Stimpy. This show was
Loved it.
This is what you call 90s insanity. I don't even know. This show, I never, to tell you the truth, I never thought it was funny.
I loved everything about it.
Even some of the gags.
I can still watch it today and laugh.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me, but.
I love how the gross out humor in it.
And I think the guy who does the voice of Doug does the voice of, I think, Stimpy.
Does he?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah, Stimpy's the red one, right? He's like the red cat.
Stimpy's cat.
Yeah, because I think I'm pretty sure because I think he said he based the voice off, actually one of my favorite Stooges, Three Stooges, Larry. Larry. Yep. Yeah, but I can't really say much to show. I mean, of course, I remember like the grotesque animation,
the grotesque,
happy joy,
I love the most.
Toaster Man or whatever his name is. You put
Powdered Toast Man. I think
that's it. So
my standout episode for that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I love about that show. I always love the one where they're like astronauts. They're in space.
I know which one you're talking about.
Stimpy has to not push the button, and he pushes it, and he turns off the gravity.
Yeah.
friend's floating around. He thinks he's eating an ice cream bar. He's eating a bar of soap.
Right.
I always loved that episode, but that show was a show I don't even know how you could disguise that and pretend it was made for kids. It's not a kid's show, but I
No
loved
way.
it. I loved it.
Sometimes, because I know at one point they brought it
They
back.
did it on like MTV or something like that. Yeah.
And I don't even know which one. Like they said, oh, this one was aired on Nickelodeon. I'm like, this
You can't tell the
episode is
difference.
insane. There was a lot of
Yeah.
sexual jokes too.
Yeah.
Like I was
It's
like,
the one
wow.
where it's where he has the like a saw between like his legs and he's cutting the wood that's between Stimpy's ass and it looks like they're banging. Yeah.
That's wild, man.
It's
I
wild.
mean,
I don't know how they get away with all that stuff, but I
yeah.
thought the animation on that show was great. The gross out humor was what brought me into it. I had a stuffed animal of Stimpy, and you would pull the hairball out of his mouth, and that's like pulling the string to make him talk.
Right.
I remember that. I love that thing. I still have somewhere in my house right now. My slippers are Stimpy.
Oh wow.
I have Stimpy
Okay.
slippers. Yeah. That show just spoke to me on a level where I'm like, oh, I love everything about it. And I think when I like watch movies after that, I think back to like, why do I like these things so much? But I talk about how much I love all the trauma films where they're all just like gross out humor and like out of this world with the references and the being over the top with the jokes. It's that same kind of humor. It just kind of carries over. I've always loved it. And I think Ren and Stimpy is where that comes from. I really do.
I think something that that shows now is if it's gonna be on MTV or some kind of streaming for
They had
adults.
Spike TV for a while when that existed.
PJ, I think one of the things about that show that would definitely not fly today is the language. One of the things they're the things that Ren would always say, like, Stimpy, you idiot. You know what I mean? Like you would not hear the words idiot now in a television show for children. Calling someone an idiot. Absolutely not.
And it was so violent.
He would like strangle him. He would like his face would like his eyeballs would be like stress and like you would say the blood vessels. But the language itself, no way would that fly.
What was it? Don't pee on the electric fence.
Yeah.
That was great. Log. It's log.
Yes.
It's big. It's heavy. It's wood.
Yep. Yeah.
Like even that.
Wild, man.
Look, I think Ren and Stimpy is one of the greatest animated television shows ever created.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it's not great. It didn't really turn me on.
Yeah,
but I'm not saying
it doesn't fit with the rest of any of the Nicktoons.
It's in a league of its own. It's definitely the most craziest.
Yeah, it doesn't fit with any of them. All the other ones are clearly kid shows that adults can enjoy while they're on in the background. Ren and Stimpy, I don't know. It's just not a kid show. I don't know how they even managed to get it there.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, I do love that show. However, I think the next one,
the
next one that we're going to talk about is so great.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rocko's Modern Life. Talk about, this is probably a little bit more adultish, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But dude, outstanding humor.
Oh my God, it's so good.
We still use the lines. PJ, you have a comic book star. Turn the page,
finish the page, wash your hands.
There you go. We're still saying the lines.
Yeah. I said that the other day after someone. I was like, you got to turn the page and then you wash your hands. You turn the page, you wash your hands.
Exactly. I still do it every time it's spring. Spring. Cleaning. Spring.
Yeah.
But, the whole town gets into cleaning and heifer.
Or sometimes when things just don't go your way, you can't beat City Hall. You
Yes.
can't fight City Hall. Yeah.
Yes, I used to love saying that line.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Love Rocko so much. Heifer was great.
He was adopted. He like doesn't realize, and he's just the comedy is like his parents are wolves. I mean, so good. And
then he marries Hutch, Dr. Hutchinson.
Yes,
his hook hand.
Yes. I mean, this show and what I like about Rocko is like he always had like somewhat bad luck, in a weird way.
Yes.
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't like a Charlie Brown or anything, but like he was always like getting frustrated, or like he was always really trying to be polite and like kind of kill people with kindness kind of thing. It would kind of backfire. And dude, one of the things that I still use, another line that I still use today, it was like an ongoing gag. They would not use this joke today in children's shows, but there's like she's like a hippopotamus. She's like this very large, like voluptuous, kind of overweight, woman. And he would run into like the supermarket or the beach, and he would like fall into her breasts or fall into her butt, and she would be like, "How dare you!" And then she would punch him, and knock him out. But dude, that stuff I used to go wild as a kid. He'd be like at the beach, he would have to oil her up or something like that, and oh my God,
the neighbors, what were they? The big heads?
Yes,
Mr. and Mrs. Big Head, and then their son goes and he creates his own cartoon, the Fatheads.
Yes, and
so good.
And they think that episode, I think one of the episodes is with the big head son. they compete and they make one of the classic episodes is Wacky Deli. You know,
Yes, Wacky
I
Deli.
mean that whole episode is fantastic. There's he keeps trying to sabotage them and it keeps backfiring. Where
Yeah.
their recent episode is just a jar of mayonnaise and it breaks records. And he's I get on.
So mad.
It ends up being just a plain black screen, and then that goes like viral in the show. It's so funny. I mean, so many classic lines, man. Episodes,
do you remember the
man.
superhero from that show? Really, really big man?
Yes. Wow.
Really, really big man when he would say, "Gaze into my nipples of the future."
Yes,
and
yes.
then the nipples would fly out of his chest into their eyeballs, and then you see the future.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like another guy? I think it was like Conglamo. He always was picking his nose.
Like
he was always a character with his picking his nose.
There was so many. Another standout episode is when Filbert has to go back to the Galapagos Islands.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, it's like his calling or something like that. He has to do it.
So they all go with him?
Yes, yes. I think another one, it's a meme now, when I think Rocco loses his job and he tries different things and he becomes like, a sex phone call worker. He's like, oh, baby. Oh, I mean, so good.
He had a dog too, Spunky.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was a wallaby, right? Rocco was a wallaby.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And this another episode where I think Rocco wins tickets to a monster truck show or something like that. And at the end, everyone keeps he only has 2 tickets just to take one person. He gets so frustrated at the end of the episode. He tears them up. He goes, here's tickets for you. And they're all shredded. But I still use those lines. But I mean, this show, folks at home, I mean, all these shows we just spoke about, they're all rewatchable. But Rocco, man, wow.
It's the most rewatchable.
I mean, really, the comedy in that is outstanding.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that show, again, I mean, when you talk about shows that just hold up and were made for kids, but anybody at any age can enjoy it, I think, and look, there's a lot of good shows to come, but Rocco is up there for me.
Oh yeah, no question.
I love his shirt. Even the shirt, I tried to buy that shirt. Like, you could buy it. And with it's like the blue shirt with the purple triangles, I think.
Yeah. I think there's an episode.
To buy that.
I think there's an episode where like he opens his closet and he has to pick a shirt to wear for the day.
It's all that shirt.
Yeah. I love that kind of humor. But moving right along, look, I think this next one is totally underrated. It's Real Monsters.
I do love that.
Mm-hmm.
Ickis, Oblina, Crumb.
Yes. And I think this is like, for me, a forgotten gem. I don't think it gets enough credit for how creative it was. I feel like
was it not on for as long as the other shows? I don't understand why it doesn't ever.
But it's sold. I mean, it had a lot of toys and merchandise. It had the video. I had the video game for Sega Genesis, which was actually pretty hard.
Look, I'm going to just put this right out there. I don't think you ever get Monsters Inc. as a movie.
Yes,
if you don't have Our Real Monsters.
Exactly. You just stole my. I was just about to say, absolutely. And this show was so creative. It was like it had its own universe. You know?
And each monster had their own separate power that they would have to use.
Yes,
to scare everybody.
Yes.
So I remember Ickis was that he grew big, right?
Yep.
He got really big. Crumb had like sting powers from his armpits.
Yes.
I don't remember what Oblina's was.
I think she just shapeshifts, right? Didn't she?
Is that what it was? I can't remember what hers was. She almost looked like an umbrella, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Right?
She was like I think she turned into different shapes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Ickis was almost like a purple rabbit looking thing.
Yes.
And Crumb was just like this hairy dude with eyes on his hands.
Yes.
And they would sometimes, if they had to look to see where they were going, he would like roll the eyeball out.
Yes.
They could look around the corner and stuff.
Yeah. I guess the creativeness was awesome. They were basically kind of like students, where they had a job. And one of my favorite character was called the Gromble. He was kind of like
was he the boss?
Yes, and like he was definitely influenced by Rocky Horror. He had like red high heels on, and he's yelling at the kids. But even stuff
like a weird red nose sort of thing.
Yes, and one of the things they did show that was actually pretty cool. I think it influenced. I can't think of specific things right now, but when you had to just prove if you scared someone, they would put you in a chair and they would hook it up to your brain, and then it would project.
They play the scare.
Yes, it would show the memory. I mean, that was so creative. The whole show was creative. They would like use the sewer systems as like their transportation. They would flush themselves down a toilet.
It had a completely different feel from any other show that was on. It felt darker.
Yep. And
that was great, that show.
Yeah, and Ickis, he's like, kind of like the main character. It's really a trio, but he was always like a nervous wreck, so I think he was like stressed out about scaring people. He was always scared himself. So good. But yeah, totally recommend Real Monsters. PJ, I think this next one, I think you and I have a lot of history with. It's Hey Arnold, and
Oh,
I
so
remember
good.
specifically when it aired. Let's say it aired on a Wednesday night. I don't know. I remember the next day going into school. I'm like, PJ, did you see that show? You're like, dude, it was so good. Just the pilot episode was amazing. And Hey Arnold, I
I
still
love it.
quote a lot of the lines from this show. PJ, do you remember this when we used to hang out with our friend Dan? We named basically a field that wasn't really a baseball field. We called it Gerald's Field after the
Yes. Yeah.
after the show.
Gerald's Field.
I
Yeah.
mean, such a great show, and the comedy in the show was outstanding. Some of my favorite lines I still use today. It's one of the episodes where they have a bad snowstorm, and the bus driver's driving the bus, and it's full of the grandmother. She has all her cats in it. It's like 12 cats, and someone throws a snowball at the windshield, and the driver goes, "I can't see. We're all gonna die." I say that line to this day when it snows or I can't see or anything like that, or my contacts get fuzzy. I say that line all the time whenever I see like a purple car or anything where I see a go-kart, I always go, the Mauve Avenger. Remember that when Arnold had to team up with that kid and he kind of gets stuck with them and he does, it's not purple, it's mauve, and he's very defensive.
So good.
Awesome. And look, another great, we'll call her a villain, Helga Pataki.
Helga Pataki.
Yep. And I love about what
and their father, Pataki's Pagers, I think it was, or something like that.
Yes.
Some beepers or something like that.
Yeah. Wow. Good memory. And I think what I love about Helga too, which was a really clever spin. Because like I said, think about compare it to Doug. Because I think Doug and Hey Arnold are kind of like, brother and sister to each other each show. And where they did a great job was that here you think, oh man, Helga's going to be a bully like Angelica. But deep down, she's in love with Arnold.
She's in love with Arnold.
Man, what a great...
She has the shrine to him.
Yes, when I remember seeing that as a kid, I was like, holy... It was so good. It was such a great
when they first reveal that she has that crush on him.
Yeah, that was great. That was so good. And the shrines make it all like, I think he chews bubblegum a lot.
Bubblegum, and she takes the gum, and she needed like his hat or a piece of his hair or something like that in one episode. Mm-hmm. She kept during the whole episode to try and get the one piece she needed to finish her shrine.
Mm-hmm. I think there's an episode where she confesses like on a note or her journal that she loves Arnold, and she's panicking. Somehow he gets his hands on it. I think he's reading the book out loud. Yeah. And the last page, I think she puts like her name and his name inside of a heart, and she rips it out. Puts it in her mouth, make like a giant like a spitball, and throws it at him to kind of save her dignity in her face. But so good. I mean, this show just so many great episodes. I can keep going on.
Kid?
Yes,
Stoop Kid is great.
Yeah. My wife loves
Stoop,
Hey Arnold. We always talk about Stoop Kid, all that stuff. Just there was another kind of bully in there. He kind of wore like a backwards hat. He was kind of like overweight.
It was like the overweight kid. Yeah.
And I think there's an episode where he's trying to lose weight, and he used to have like a bunch of ice cream pops. He used to eat 100. Oh no, he would eat 50 like ice cream pops, and then he ends up getting diet, but he eats 100, so it doesn't really do anything. It's like half the sugar, but he ends up eating the same amount. I mean, just really great comedy in there. And do you remember that one episode? There's like a tortoise or a turtle named Lockjaw or something like that, and they spray paint him, and like Arnold and his grandmother like clean him up, and at the end they release him to the ocean. But so many great episodes, man, and so good.
What was great about that was we never knew any of their last names, but his grandfather always called him Short Man.
Yes.
And then you find out that's actually his name is Arnold Shortman.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yes. Wow. Good
the grandfather was great.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. There was an episode. Oh man, there were so many good ones. One of the guys in the house because he lived in like that boarding house or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but they have to like help one of the guys, and he's like working for him or something like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I remember that one. There was so many good ones.
Just the characters who live in the house were great. You had like the guy who was like, like Asian. You had the guy who was like kind of short, like Italian guy. He was always like, trying to do something. There was the other guy who was like very cheap. I can't remember all the characters. They all lived in the same house.
Didn't they have in that show a singer who was like a Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin sort of thing? And they try and put that band back together.
Is it Dino Spumoni? Is that?
Yes, Dino Spumoni. That's exactly what it is.
Okay,
yes, Dino Spumoni.
I was getting for a second. I was like going through my Rolodex. I'm like, it's not.
Yes.
I'm like, is it? I think this is another character like that in Doug actually.
Yeah, I think there might be.
I was thinking Smash Adams. Like, oh, that's like the 007 of.
That's
Doug.
the 007 Smash Adams. Yeah.
But I think they had a character like that. But yeah, I mean, Hey Arnold, just hilarious. So many great
and another
lines.
show that really shows like you don't have to really try to squeeze these diversity things into your show. You can just do it and not mention it.
Yeah.
And it'll just be seamless. You're right. It is very similar to Doug in a lot of ways. This is like an urban setting for Doug, while Doug was very suburban, but it's very similar thematically of the two
Yep.
shows.
Mhm.
I love the anime. I love the designs of the characters.
Yep.
His football shaped head.
Yes.
I love that. They're all very memorable. They had their handshake that they would do.
Yes. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
there's so many good things. They did a couple of movies, at least one movie, but I think they might have done 2 movies.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think I remember I saw them. I didn't really like it because you find out what happened to his parents, and they were like
Yeah.
stuck like in some kind of time zone. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
it was something I don't know exactly, but I remember I didn't like it. I'm like, it didn't fit. Like it was too like I don't want to say supernatural. It didn't fit with the rest of the
Yeah.
world. It was like, or
Yeah, it wasn't
like
grounded, where the rest of the show,
yeah.
for as wild as it was, felt very grounded. Remember the episode with the heat stroke, the heat wave?
Oh yeah, I love that episode.
And
Yeah.
they keep trying to go to the pool, but there's always too many people in it, they can't get in?
Yep. I think everyone's favorite thing about the show was Arnold's room. Everyone wanted to live in that
Yes.
room. That bedroom was
Yes.
sick. He had the kind of greenhouse skylight thingy
Yeah.
and a couch that spun out. Everyone was like, oh, that's the absolute. He used to hang out on the rooftop too. I mean,
Yeah,
oh man, we can go on and on, but a classic show.
for sure, for sure.
This next one was kind of more of a variety show and it had different spin-offs. It's called Kablam. And
Kablam.
it was so good. And just to kind of ramble off some of the folks, it was Prometheus and Bob,
Love
Sniz,
Prometheus and Bob.
Sniz and Fondue, and then Action League Now.
That was the action figures. They're like superheroes or whatever, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Prometheus and Bob. I thought those were great, like 1 minute, 2 minute gags. You know, basically
Yeah.
like a high tech alien, and then it was like a caveman, and it was just great
Yep.
physical comedy. It was like no dialogue. It was just straight up physical comedy. So
That-
good.
Yeah, that kind of always felt to me like the way they would do that show, almost in a way like Rocky and Bullwinkle, where you had like your main show, but then you would have like these interludes of like, you watch Rocky and Bullwinkle, but you would get Aesop's Fables, or you would get, Mr. Peabody. The Kablam kind of felt that way to me, where it was like you had a show, but then there were these interludes of other things that were happening. But I love that show. I love Action League Now.
Oh yeah. I mean, just the character's name still makes me laugh today. You have the Flesh, which was just a totally nude action figure. Then you had, I love this character, Meltman. He was just,
Yep.
it was a toy that was completely melted.
My favorite was Stinky Diver.
Stinky Diver, right? Right, exactly. He was a scuba diver who kept getting flushed down toilets.
In the toilet, yeah.
And then you had Thunder Girl, who's kind of like the brains, the moral.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think at some point they gave Action League Now its own show.
yeah,
I
it got so big. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, just great comedy in there. I never really loved Sniz and Fondue, but Action League Now, absolutely, man. And they had like the mayor. He was kind of like the villain, and just great comedy. They would like have a remote control car and, all this kind of stuff. And I love that kind of like stop motion-y kind of stuff. And even Prometheus Bob was kind of like a little bit of a celebrity deathmatch kind of style.
Yeah.
Claymation type stuff.
That was great.
Yep. This next one, PJ, I think about you and I. We love the Angry Beavers. I always think of you and I, man, with this show.
I do. I love the Angry Beavers. It's another show that didn't get enough love.
Yes. And
I always liked that one.
PJ and I used to scream like that and go like, hey, ooh, we used to do that together. They were kind of like the odd couple. I mean, there were two brothers. They played brothers, but they were just
completely opposite.
Yes. And they're always stressed out. And there's an episode on PJ. I think you're going to remember this because I want to tell a childhood story. There was a character on the show. I think he was like a lizard or a chameleon or something like that. His name was Bing. And what happens is he becomes friends with Daggett and Norbert. Those are the name of the beavers. And he's a nice character, Bing, but he like didn't have boundaries. Like he didn't understand personal space. He became very annoying. They couldn't get rid of this guy. So it was like the cartoons where like they would lock the door with 20 locks and they would turn around, he would appear and he would just irritate them. So I bring that up because PJ and we were not bullies growing up, but there was I think it was in high school or middle school, whatever. There was like this kid. He liked PJ and I, nice guy, but he was like much like Bing, zero personal space, did not understand boundaries or social cues. Maybe now we know a little bit more about education, maybe he had some issues, but anyway, nonetheless, nice kid, but became very irritating. We couldn't get rid of this guy. So PJ and I used to call him behind his back, Bing. The problem is that one day he caught us calling him Bing. He was like, hey, I know that. That's from the Angry Beavers. And I felt terrible because I'm like, oh my God, we're calling this poor guy Bing. But anyway, a really great show. Just with great comedy. And there's so many great episodes too. They're like, they build dams in it. And
they build the dams.
It's just so funny.
Beavers. I love the look of the characters because, I mean, they don't really look like beavers except for their tails. I mean, I thought the animation style on that was again very memorable, very unique. The setting for the show, that's the thing. All of these shows look and feel
Exactly.
unique. You know, they're not
Yeah.
cookie cutter sort of shows. A lot
Yeah.
of things always look the same, but everything with Nickelodeon had its own feel, its own world where they were just like everything gave you a little something different that the other
Yeah.
shows didn't give you.
Yeah.
So that's why you wanted to watch all of them.
And all these shows we just talked about so far, and is like, I'm not saying today they don't put a lot of work into the episodes. That'd be unfair to say, but it just seemed they had so much creative freedom where you don't really get that now. I mean,
Because I don't think they had to worry about censorship. They could just say and do whatever they wanted. No one really cared. So
yes.
they could be more creative. But
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
I mean, just
Dag and Norb are two great characters, and
Yep.
I mean that's a show I feel like you could bring back, and it
Yeah.
would still.
I think
work.
it had a small like revival. You know,
Did it?
I think so. I could be maybe or maybe they had unreleased episodes that they kind of aired.
Okay.
I think if I can recall, but yeah, another classic banger.
Yeah.
Like I said, folks,
So
we're kind of
good.
getting closer towards the end of our list.
Yeah.
But I was
Yeah,
not
but
the next.
the next one I really like.
Then next one I couldn't catch on to, which was Cat Dog. Yeah,
Love Cat Dog.
Cat Dog didn't do anything for me.
I liked it because it was so stupid. The idea that it's a dog and a cat that are attached in the middle.
Yeah.
I love the song for it. The song is the best part
I
of the
think
show.
yeah. I'm trying to play it in my head now.
It's kind of country-ish in a way.
Yes,
Cat Dog.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I don't have much to comment today. I didn't enjoy it. I did not. That's for sure. I definitely I watched Ren and Stimpy. You know, even though I didn't love it, but I did watch. I thought it was entertaining. Cat Dog, I just felt boring. I couldn't connect.
I liked it. The voices on that are super famous people.
Yeah, that I remember.
I forget which one does which, but Jim Cummings does one of them. I forget if he's cat or dog. I think he might be. I don't remember. I think maybe cat. But Jim Cummings is Winnie the Pooh.
Yep.
He, you know, you've heard his voice in everything. He is the most famous. That's his biggest role. But you know, if you want to go through the Jim Cummings library real quick, just to say some of the things he's done. He was, he was in Ninja Turtles. He was Winnie the Pooh. He was in he was Monterey Jack and Chip and Dale.
Yeah.
He was in everything. He's in everything. But the other guy in Cat Dog is SpongeBob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tom Kenny.
Oh yeah, yep. I know that. Oh yeah, he's yep.
That's I'm almost certain Cat Dog came out before.
Yeah.
SpongeBob. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that was sort of like I think where he got his Nickelodeon start, not a start in acting or anything like that, but I think where he came to Nickelodeon.
Yep.
So that show does have that to me. I genuinely enjoy that show. I don't know that there are very memorable episodes the way there are in the other ones. I just remember it being sort of like a goofy slapstick comedy kind of stupid comedy kind of show. And like I said, I love the stupid comedy. I always love dumb comedy. And so I like that. And I like the absurdity of the character of just being a dog and a cat attached.
Yeah.
Simple and stupid, but that's what I like. I like stupid stuff. I always say that. And I think it's sometimes harder to make the stupid sort of comedy work. You know what I mean? Like you got to work hard to make it not too stupid. And I always love that stuff. And for me, it's not my favorite show on the list by any stretch, but I do have an appreciation for it.
Yeah. For the next one, I think it was called Oh Yeah Cartoons. And the only thing I remember is Oh Yeah. But I
don't
think
remember
it was
a thing about the show. I just remember the Oh Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of like almost like a show that gave like previews of maybe shows to come. That's what I think it was.
Is that what it is?
I could be wrong, but I think that's what it might have been. But we'll keep going right along. It's the Wild Thornberrys.
This is a show I hated.
This is a show that I watched, but I couldn't, for some reason, I couldn't latch on. I thought, it had a pretty all-star cast. You had Tim Curry doing the voice. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was actually Anne Hathaway. I think did one of the voices.
Really?
Then you had Flea. He did the
Flea.
voice.
I know Flea was in it. Yeah, Flea
from the Chili
He
Peppers.
does the brother, right? Does he not actually talk or something like that?
He just makes like random noises. Yeah. But yeah,
I could not get into that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was just like my started to kind of grow out of that thing. I was getting more into like wrestling at the time was huge, and
but
I still love cartoons.
That was probably like the late '90s, right?
Yeah,
early 2000s for the Wild Thornberrys. Yeah, I was probably at that point in time when I'm watching TV, I'm just switching back and forth between Raw and Nitro and less watching cartoons.
Yeah. Or more children's cartoons, you know.
Yeah.
But the next one after that, still a powerhouse today, is SpongeBob SquarePants. Look. This show, for me, is a show I really enjoy. It's not one of my favorites, but I love the humor. I do enjoy some.
Yeah.
I think to me, with that show, like some episodes really land for me. Some episodes, I'm like, I don't think it's funny. I just don't enjoy that kind of like humor. It's a little bit like loud and obnoxious. But I love Squidward. I love Plankton. I love Mr. Crab.
Mr. Krabs is the best on the show. I love Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, I mean those characters. I mean, I think Squidward can get his own show, but
Yeah, I like you said, I don't know if maybe it was because when it came out, we were kind of past it, so we weren't watching it. I mean, if it's on TV, I'll watch it. Like I thought
yeah,
the movies were actually done very well. I really do enjoy some of the movies they came out with.
yeah.
But I didn't spend too much time watching that show. Maybe on in the background sometimes. I think it's funny. Sandy Cheeks, I think, is such a great name for a character.
Yeah,
She has the
Bikini
spacesuit
Bottom. I
on.
mean, all that
Yeah,
stuff. Mhm.
there's a lot of really good stuff in there. I think I just missed it,
Yes.
and that's why I don't have the
Mhm.
same level of love for this show as I do for like a Doug
Yeah.
or something, because it just to me, I don't know if we're too old for it, because I think it plays to all audiences, but
Yeah.
I just don't focus on as much as I would do the other ones. But I think the animation is great. I think there's a lot of creative characters in there. I think Merman or whatever they are, I
Oh
think those guys
yeah.
are pretty funny.
Mhm.
I don't have too much to say about it, because for the fact that it's been on forever, I didn't spend too much time watching every episode of it.
Yeah. I think it's a great show. It's funny. I mean, like I said, I
Yeah.
like all those characters. The only character I don't really like is actually Patrick. I don't enjoy his humor that much, but I do. Yeah, and I have nothing else to say. I mean, you can have an whole episode about SpongeBob. You know, I
Yeah,
definitely
I mean,
recommend it,
that's
no question. And I
yeah,
have seen the
yeah,
movies; they're hilarious.
yeah,
The
the
movies are
movies are
good.
great. I love the
Mhm.
movies, yeah. Patrick is a famous dude. It's,
Yeah,
why can't I
yeah.
think of his name?
Hmm. I think he's like a
I
football player or something like that. Or
Yeah, he's from Coach.
that's why I'm thinking that. Okay.
And How I Met Your Mother, he plays Marshall's father. I just can't think of his name right now, but he's a super famous guy, and he's a great actor,
Mm-hmm.
and he has that super recognizable voice. Why can't I think of his name? It's gonna drive me nuts, but whatever. That's,
Mm-hmm. And then, folks, we're getting probably into our last. I'll say our last three here is Rocket Power. I love this show. It's probably the last cartoon I really watched. Kind of,
yeah,
I'll say
I
like on the regular at the time. Definitely way more than SpongeBob. I love Rocket Power. It was
I do
cool,
like Rocket
very
Power.
90s with the skateboarding and the inline skating and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be in that show. I wanted because it was like they're in California, I believe, and just every day's a nice day. But yeah, I really liked Rocket Power. I can't remember any of the characters' names and all that, but I definitely enjoyed watching it.
I like calling people a shoobie.
But
I still
yes.
call people shoobies.
Yeah. Wow. Good memory. And then we'll just end on these two. As I never even heard of this. As Told by Ginger. No
I
clue
don't
what that
recall.
is.
I recall the name. I don't recall ever seeing the show.
And I think PJ, I never. And then we're gonna basically stop there because the
Yeah.
rest is we'll just mention them is from this list anyway. The Fairly Odd Parents.
That show
was a very big hit.
I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend, if you said you haven't watched it, check out a couple episodes. There's Timmy Turner. He's a little kid, and he has two fairy odd parents, and they just grant him wishes and stuff. And the whole show is just like, it's just, again, it's not like I don't think as good as the other ones, and it's not something I would watch as religiously, but I did watch it. And Cosmo and Wanda, I think, are great characters. Those are the odd parents, and the way they use their magic, and it seems like every time they would use their magic, they would somehow fuck things up more.
Yeah.
And it would just become more of a problem, and that's where the comedy comes from. There is one fairy that runs all the other fairies. He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like a big army guy.
Yeah.
It's a very funny show. The animation style is cool. The designs are cool. They have like that heavy black outline around the characters, and it's fun. I think you'd actually like it if you watched it.
Yeah. I gotta definitely check it out. And then the last ones, like I said, there's obviously
The
Nickelodeon
big
has
twist with that show, which is actually pretty cool, is I think you find out that at some point Timmy Turner wishes never to be a grown up, and that's why he's always so young or something like that. There's some I don't know if that was a movie or something like that, but they did this whole thing where they kind of one of the odd parents have to they break a rule by granting this one wish so that he's always a kid or something like that. And it becomes a much darker sort of, when you watch it, you're like, oh shit, this is kind of went to a place you didn't expect the show to go to. It was well written. The voice acting is great. The comedy, physical comedy sort of stuff is really good. It's a fun show.
Oh yeah. Nice. And then just to ramble off the last ones it's Invader Zim. I'd heard of it, never got into it. Actually, now end up getting its own show.
Yep.
Chalk Zone, never even heard of it.
I don't remember Chalk Zone at all.
And then the last on our list was Jimmy Neutron, which I didn't watch. It was too childish for me, but I just know it through, because it was, at one point it was a really big show. And of course there's more after that, folks, but we kind of just stopped there.
I don't dislike Jimmy Neutron. There's stuff about Jimmy Neutron that I do find entertaining. For me, the reason Jimmy Neutron doesn't work is for some reason for the Nicktoons, I want them to be traditional hand-drawn 2D animation, and this felt like
Yeah.
that kind. I just didn't. I don't know. Something about it didn't work for me.
PJ, what's your top 5?
Top 5?
Yep.
You want them in any particular order, or does that not matter?
It doesn't matter. Whatever
All right.
you want. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, number one.
What's your number one? How
is-
about that? What's your number one, and the rest are,
Number one is Rocco.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Number one is I can do them in order because I kind of know what the order is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is definitely Rocco. Number 2 would probably be Doug. Number 3 would probably be Rugrats. 4 would be Angry Beavers, and 5 would probably be Hey Arnold.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know for me is number
Although
one.
very close together, like the distance between these.
Yeah.
On any
yeah.
given day, that could all change. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. For me, I know number 1 is definitely Rugrats. Number 2, I would say Hey Arnold. Number 3, I'm going to say Doug. 4, I'm going to say Rocco's Modern Life. And 5, Angry Beavers. And then I'm going to add a 6 because I love that show, Our Real Monsters. That's my top 6.
Yeah.
I had to put those in
Tough.
there. But yeah, folks, thanks for coming down memory lane with us. And comment. Let us know what your favorite.
Yeah, what's your
Nicktoons-
favorite Nicktoon? Yeah.
Yeah. And if you enjoy this episode, I recommend checking out come out a few weeks ago, our favorite MTV music videos of like the 80s and 90s, early 2000s. And if you really want to go back in time, one of our earliest episodes, we talk about our favorite adult cartoons. So if you had a kick out of this one, you'll enjoy those. But PJ, I think that's it, my brother.
I think so.
All right. Same time, same table.
Have a good one.
Boys and girls, lunchtime is over. For more information, visit their website at coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com. Follow the boys on all social media platforms. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.